Hello, everybody. Welcome to the start of something a little different. If you've never seen my channel before, welcome. I'm not very active, but I'm going to start to try to do, you know, some streaming, some YouTube stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time. So, this is going to be the first major video, and it's going to be every video game I have ever played. I've gone and made a tier list. I play a ton of different video games, and yeah, I have no life, so let's get going. 007 Nightfire, A tier, phenomenal game. 102 Dalmatians. Oh, I should probably explain the tiers too. So, S tier, obviously, S through F. Couldn't get into it. It's going to be a few of these games where, like, I've played and I was not a fan of the world, the gameplay, anything like that. Couldn't get into it. Maybe I'll do a let's play of it or something to try to do it again. And then Too Young to Remember, there's a couple of these games in here that I have that I've been gaming since I was like 4. So, you know, 102 Dalmatians, C tier. I was not very good at it. Project Cars, B tier. I prefer Gran Turismo. MLB 2005, we'll call it C tier. Actually, we'll put it up in B. I actually really enjoyed that game. This is Ace Combat Shattered Skies. It's an A tier. Ace Combat 7, I'll give it a B tier. Odyssey, that's going to be the first one that I couldn't get into. I am a massive Assassin's Creed fan, as you can probably tell over here. I do not like the new open world games for Assassin's Creed. I don't like Odyssey. I don't like Valhalla. And whatever it is, I can't get into them. Alien Isolation, A tier. I actually have not beaten that yet. I'm kind of scared to because I'm a baby. But yeah, phenomenal atmosphere, phenomenal AI still. Uh, Love the premise. Too much of a bitch to finish it. Colonial Marines is an F. Fireteam Elite, that's a C. Don't think I really need to go into those. Fireteam Elite was kind of fun. Played it for a little bit of short. Among Us, that's a B. Solid game. Age of Empires, we'll put that at a B too. And I remember it's one of the first games I ever played on PC. Actually, I had a very shitty like 2000s, like it was like an '06 maybe, and it was a big purple case and everything, and it had Windows XP on it. And that's what I used for Age of Empires. Good times there. Apex Legends C. I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer Warzone, but even then, that's Warzone 1. I fucking hate Warzone 2. Our Army Men, Sarge's Heroes, we'll give it a C. Pretty solid game. Clunky as hell now. Assassin's Creed 1, that's a C. S tier, S tier. I love the Ezio trilogy. Both 2 and Brotherhood are my favorites. I've platinumed them. Actually, I platinumed the entire Ezio trilogy. That was a fun little doodad there. Yeah, both S tier games. C tier for Assassin's Creed 1. Altair is cool, but I'm not a fan of the game itself. Same thing for Assassin's Creed 3. Black Flag was better. Black Flag is an A tier. Origins, we're going to give a B tier. And the idea of it's open world, actually, we'll dock it down to a C because of that. It's open world, and I did not, but it's not as bloated as Valhalla or Odyssey. I did really like Bayek as a character, though. So the storyline was really solid there. Assassin's Creed Revelations, we're going to give an A tier. I thought they concluded Ezio's story pretty well, but Brotherhood and actually top. I don't have a particular order, but S tier, that's one of my favorite games of all time. Rogue, we're going to be to C tier. I thought Shay Cormac was pretty cool, but I'm not overly a fan of Rogue for whatever reason. AC Syndicate, we're going to give a high B tier. I actually, might be a hot take, but I really enjoyed Syndicate, and I had a great time with it. I did not play Unity when it came out because I was skeptical that, Ubisoft was going to do a good job with it, and that kind of proved to be right. So I was like, screw it. Went to a Redbox one day and saw Syndicate, rented it, beat it in 2 days, and had a phenomenal time with it. That being said, Unity, I have not actually finished technically, um, because it's still a little clunky for me. I do want to try it, so maybe we'll do a let's play of it at some point. We're gonna go C tier. Valhalla, couldn't get into it. Astro's Playroom, though, love that game. That's a high A tier. Very, very fun game. I'm very excited for the new Astros game coming out. ATV for Fury 2, A tier. A Way Out, we'll put that in high B tier. Played it with my cousin, had a very, very great time. Back for Blood, low C. Backyard Wrestling, I think it was an F. This was one of those ones that I played when I was younger, and for whatever reason, I remember it being buggy as hell. Maybe, you know what, we'll put too young to remember. We'll put that there. Baldur's Gate 3, this is a very hot take. I could not get into it. I have dumped, I think, 60, 70 hours into it, and I can't get into it. I have tried and tried. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll be convinced to play it again sometime. Give it another go, but as of right now, I couldn't get into it. Arkham Asylum, it's another S tier. I love the atmosphere of Asylum. I love the condensed version of it. I think that Asylum, in terms of its atmosphere and world building, was arguably better than City. Um, City is the better game as a whole, but I think Asylum knocked it out of the park with its atmosphere. It reminds me of Bioshock, which we're going to get to. Arkham City, we'll give an S tier as well. Arkham Knight, A tier. I love all three Arkham games. I think they are brilliant. At least the main lines. I've actually not played Origins, so that's fun. I own it. I just have not played it. I will at some point. My wife beat it and played it, and she really enjoyed it. So, yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Batmobile combat was not as bad as everyone thought it was. It's a lot, but it's not bad. Batman Telltale, put that at a B. No, we'll keep it at B. I enjoyed it, but I much prefer Walking Dead. 1989's Batman, or 85, I don't remember, but too young to remember anyways. Batman Vengeance, that was an F tier. That was an awful fucking game, and I knew it as a child. Battlefield 1, B tier. I'm not a big fan of Battlefield games. I played them, but I'm more of a Call of Duty person. Battlefield 3, however, is an A tier. Battlefield. Okay. So Battlefield 3, A tier, 1 B tier, and then 5. Actually, we're going to put 2040, whatever the hell it's called, in F, actually. Yep. Battletanks Global Assault and 64 game. Pretty solid. I think it's a pretty decent B tier. It's been a long time since I've played it. Battletoads, give it a high B. I'm still bad. Like everybody else, I can't get through the sewer level. However, the B movie game, I think, in terms of fun factor, when I was a kid, I had a good time with this. We're gonna put it in mid B tier. I'm not gonna lie. Bejeweled, yeah, we've done Bejeweled. A tier, solid time waster. Besiege, B tier. That is, you build siege weapons and you smash them into buildings. It's pretty fun, but a little repetitive. But I enjoyed it. It's on PC. Check it out on Steam. Brother in Arms, give a C tier. Loved the concept of it. Hard as fuck. Granted, that was when I was 11 or 12, so maybe my gaming skills have gotten better. But yeah, Big Mother Truckers, which as a child I pronounced as Big Mutha because I'm stupid. I'm gonna give a C. It does not hold up well. I really wanted to replay it because the PS2, we got it from like a pawn shop, the original game, and I could not get past a certain point because the road would be a black void and I would fall into it. Wanted to beat it, tried it as an adult. I'm like, oof, the control schemes and everything aged very poorly. So that's gonna go C tier. Bioshock 2. I actually beat and played Bioshock 2 first, and I'm gonna put it in high A tier. Remove this. I don't like I said. There's not necessarily a ranking in terms of this, but Bioshock 2 I'm gonna put in high A tier. That might be a little controversial, but I'm a very big into nostalgia and which one I've played first. So Bioshock 2 is going up in high A tier because I it was the first one I played, but Bioshock 1 S tier. Absolute fucking masterwork, masterpiece of a game, of an atmosphere, and it is brilliant to this day. Black Ops 2, I'm going to give a B tier. I just played through all of those. I don't know if I finished Black Ops 2. I just did a run through of all the other Call of Duties, and it's funny because I do all these, I game all the time and everything, and I never stream. So if you guys do want to see that, that's Black Ops 3. I'm dumb. That's Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is a C tier. But anyways, if there are things you guys want me to see, I can go into the community notes and put a whole list of what's what. Bloodborne, A tier. Mostly because I don't want the FromSoft fans to kill me. I mean, I'm probably getting killed for some of the things on this list anyways. You know what? No. Alright, my troop, I couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. I love the atmosphere. I don't know where the fuck to go. And I've gotten, I think, 3 or 4 bosses in. And I am a pretty big FromSoft person. Like, it's not for lack of trying. I am just not good at Bloodborne for whatever reason. So, I couldn't get into it. Cold War, F tier. That's the last Call of Duty game that I've actually purchased full price. And if they keep going the way they are, then it'll probably remain that way. Borderlands 2, A tier. Borderlands 3 rather, is going to be C tier. Borderlands is B tier. Pre-sequel is B tier. It's been a long time since I played the pre-sequel. Borderlands 2, really enjoyed. It's not as fun now that I do a lot of solo, but playing it with my brother and stuff growing up, I had a really good time. Borderlands 1, same situation, but worse than 2. 3 I could not get into, and pre-sequel I put it at a B because I think I enjoyed it, but I don't remember. Burnout is an A-tier game, very fun. Kill Bill is big game hunter. That's also a B-tier game. I love turning on the sheets like little red triangles, just shooting cougars across the map. Used to do it as a kid because I'm kind of a chicken shit a little bit. Like, I've played a number of horror games. I don't think a lot of them are on this list, but I have dabbled a little bit, and I'm still afraid of a lot of things in life. So, big game hunter there. Dangerous Hunts, C tier. Had it on the PS3. The motion controls were pretty wild. Call of Duty 3 though was one of the first PS3 games that we had. That's going to go into a C tier. I still enjoy the storyline to it. I still enjoy the guns and everything. So, and I'm a big World War II buff. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, S tier. I still think that the campaign is a masterwork of what what Call of Duty can do. Black Ops 2, we're going to give a high A. Modern Warfare 2019, I'm going to give a B. We're going to give it a high B, though. Because the more I think about it, the more I might rank these a little bit. But I really enjoyed 2019. I thought it was a return to form in a lot of ways, especially the way the online field feels. But, yeah, 2019 Modern Warfare, I'm going to put a solid B, and I really enjoyed it. We're going to put it in low A, actually, for that reason. Modern Warfare 2, S tier. Modern Warfare 3, A tier. We'll put high A tier though. I thought Modern Warfare 2 was brilliant, phenomenal, very good campaign. Still talked about today. The arcade I would give my left testicle for again. The not the arcade, the online. It was the first multiplayer game that I ever really played. We didn't have internet, you know, we had internet sporadically growing up, so it was the first one that I had, and I missed the intervention dearly. I was one of those sweaty 360 no scoping kids, so miss it dearly. Modern Warfare 2, we're going to put in C tier. Was not a fan. Vanguard, that's an F. Did not like Vanguard. Warzone 2.0, F. However, A tier for me in World War II. I loved World War II. I thought Call of Duty World War II was the best feeling multiplayer that Call of Duty had had in a long time. And I have very fond memories of World War II. I'm a World War II buff in general for historical purposes. Massive fan of World War II. Game Dev Tycoon, very fun little indie game. Shout out to those guys. B tier, high B tier. That's a fun game to peck around in. Castle Crashers, we're gonna give it a C tier. Good with friends, but I don't know, it was alright. Castlevania, the original NES version, I'm gonna give a B. I couldn't beat it. That's to no fault of the game. That's just because I'm bad. This is Castlevania 2, right? We're gonna give it that one a Too Young to Remember. I know I've played it. I looked up gameplay. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this, but not enough to give it an honest score. Chivalry 2 will give a C. It's pretty fun, pretty goofy. Same thing with City Skylines. Give that a C. You know, I enjoy it. It's not great, but you know, it's a fun little time suck. Crash Racing, we're gonna give another C. It's, you know, a decent kart racer, but Mario Kart is better. Black Ops 1, however, it's going up in an S tier. It's not like necessarily higher than like these, but yeah, Black Ops 1 is very good. Call of Duty Finest Hour, C. It's kind of meh now, I think. Warzone is an A tier though. First Warzone had a lot of really good times, especially during the pandemic. Comic Zones, C. Fun little beat 'em up. Contra. Oh, I need a too hard to beat tier because Contra would be on there. We're gonna give it a C. C for Contra. Very fun, even though it's very difficult. Need for Speed Heat, big Need for Speed Heat. Well, not Heat specifically, but big Need for Speed fan. I thought this was a solid B tier game. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I'm giving a C. I was very sad about how Breakpoint came about rather than Wildlands. I'm a massive Wildlands fan, and Breakpoint to me was a step down in everything. So, Crash Bandicoot, B tier. Not a big fan of platformers, but I gotta respect the game and what it caused. Crusader Kings, that's an A tier game. This CK3 specifically. Love that game. Love cheating in that game because I'm bad at it. But maxing out my sexual prowess as a morbidly obese Polish man never gets old. So, A tier. Trail Humans 2, we're gonna give a B tier. Not as good as the first one. Still pretty funny. Some of the lines are really wild. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2009. We're gonna give us another C tier. Oh, this one's the PS2 version. That's gonna go up. I had a better time with this one than that one. Dark Souls 3, S tier. It's my favorite of the Dark Souls games. It was admittedly the first one I ever completed. The first one that I really played was Dark Souls 2, and then I played 3, loved 3, fell in love with 3, and then went back to 1. So I played them out of order. I still think Dark Souls 3 is the peak of them, and you guys can fight me in that. Dark Souls 1, though, I'm going to give a B tier. I don't like the way it controls at all, especially now with like Elden Ring and everything being a little more refined. I love the lore of Dark Souls 1, which is why it's ranking, in a B tier, but this is my list and I can't, for me personally, put it any higher than a high B tier. But I'm going to make sure it stays there because we'll go A then. We'll go like an A minus. What is this one? I cannot tell what that one is. We'll move on and maybe I jog my memory. Fighter Z, B tier, solid Dragon Ball fighting game. Big Dragon Ball fan. However, Budokai 1. No, Budokai 1 was bad. Saga's F. Garbage game. Very, very bad game. Double Dragon, too young to remember it. Dead by Daylight. That's a C tier. I enjoy the concept of it, but I don't play a lot of those games, so. Dead Island, C tier. I don't know what this one is. Dead Rising 2, we'll give it a B tier. I don't like games that are based on time limits like that. Same thing with Dead Rising. I enjoyed the premise, I just wish there was an endless mode where I can just run around and fuck shit up and not have to worry about anything. So, yep. Dead Space 1, high A tier. Brilliant atmosphere. Dead Space 2, same thing. They're both up there. Dead Space 3 was technically, admittedly, the first Dead Space that I actually played. I didn't play 1 and 2 because I'm a big baby. And we're going to give it a C. Upon rethinking it, like, these two... Where did I put them? These two are so much better than this one. So, we move on. Deathloop, couldn't get into it. Deep Rock Galactic, I'll give it a B tier. Fun to poke around with some friends once in a while, but nothing super over the moon. Demon Souls, specifically the remake, I never played the PS3 version. We're going to give a solid A tier. We'll put Dark Souls before it, but yeah, Demon Souls is in there for sure. Destroy All Humans, that's a low A tier. There we go. Destroy All Humans, low A tier. Very fun to goof around with. Detroit Become Human, that is a high A tier game. No particular order, just, these are their tops. Yeah, Detroit Become Human, very good game, very solid. Diablo 3, couldn't get into it. Diablo 4, couldn't get into it. I am not a fan of top-down games like that. I think that they are just okay most of the time. And yeah, I bought Diablo 4 thinking it looked really cool and was going to have a good time, and couldn't get into it. Might try it again because I paid $70 for it. So, onward. Dishonored. B tier. I'm bad at stealth games. Love the premise, but I'm bad at them, so it's going to go down. It's no fault of the game of itself. Some of these things that I put ranking are also my enjoyment of them, and if I'm bad at it, then I don't enjoy it. That's to no fault of any of Obsidian or anything like that. DMC4. It's actually the only Devil May Cry game that I've actually played, and I got lost. If I remember right, there's like a labyrinth that I got stuck on. I had a good time with up to that point, but I'm gonna put it in a C tier. Just in the idea of I never really beat it, and I borrowed it from a buddy, so never really completed it. Donkey Kong 64 will give a B tier. Pretty solid, Donkey Kong game. Not like over the moon about it. Yeah. Donkey Kong Original will give another B tier. Some of these games, like, I don't have a definitive ranking because they don't necessarily move me in any particular way. But it's not like I couldn't get into it. Like, I beat Donkey Kong and I played enough levels of I beat Donkey Kong 64, had enough of an idea of what Donkey Kong 1 was all about, but they didn't move me in a particular way. Like, it's not like these are. Actually, we're gonna dock them down to C tier. I think C tier is where we're gonna put. We're also gonna say like didn't impact me in any way. Roughly. Yeah. Doom 1, B tier. I'm tempted to put it in that same vein because I played it well after the fact, so like it didn't impact me because I'd been playing FPSs for so long at that point. But I respect the game. I actually have a good time with Doom still playing it, so we'll keep it there. Angry Birds, C tier. Same thing. Mobile game. This is every game I've played, so I felt obligated to put it in there. Didn't really move me. Fun little time suck. Okay. Dragon Age games, I'm going to put in C tier. C, and I'll put that C. Played all three of them. Couldn't get into them across the board, but I was like, something's got to click with me eventually, and it never did. So, Xenoverse 2, high A tier game. Very much enjoy this game. I wish they would do one for the Naruto universe. I'm a decent anime fan, but like more so like the typical like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Punch Man, like the standard like you give somebody an anime, this is what they're gonna watch. Like the most you know different show that I guess that I watched that's anime is Cowboy Bebop, which is phenomenal in and of itself. So Xenoverse 1 I'm gonna give a B tier. I thought X2 was so much better. We're gonna give that a B tier. Budokai 3 though, S tier, one of my favorite games. I not to like humble. I'm gonna humble brag. I'm quite good at Budokai 3. Been a long time, but I used to be very very good at it. Won a couple tournaments, things like that. So B tier for that. Kakarot, B tier. Tried to play it, couldn't get into it. I just didn't think the RPG elements were all that, and didn't really get me in a way. Dr. Mario didn't impact me in any other way. Played it, had a good time. Duck Hunt, same idea. Like a lot of these retro games are going to be that, and that's how it's going to end up for some of that. Duel Masters, part of it's too young to remember, but also F. I'm going to make that F for forgettable. Because I don't remember a damn thing about it. I remember playing a decent chunk of it, but I also remember it being a shitty Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff. So, yeah, it's definitely spelled wrong. There we go. Dying Light 2, C tier, high C tier. I loved the first one. That game wasn't super great. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Dying Light, we're gonna give it an A tier. Very much enjoy that game. It's not an S tier. S tiers are going to be like some of my favorite games ever. The Call of Duties might be, a stretch to say my favorite games of all time, except maybe Black Ops 1. But, my favorite. There. Alright. Yeah, Call of Duties might be a stretch for that, but Dynasty Warriors 3, my wife and I are going through those together, or going through this one specifically. That's a high B tier. Very goofy voice acting. That's what sells a lot of it. Other than that, to me, it's kind of a button masher. But I love the Three Kingdoms period in history. I think it's very interesting, even though it's debated on how much of it's real. High B tier though, mostly for the memes. Dynasty Warriors 8 will also put in the same spot, roughly. It's B tier. Earthworm Jim. I don't remember too much of it. Football Club 24. Solid C tier. It's not that I couldn't get into it at all. It's just that it's a football game. It's a FIFA game. What more do you want? UFC 2, B tier. Love a lot of the UFC games. The ragdoll physics are hilarious. Elden Ring, S tier. That's kind of how I feel about that. Enter the Gungeon, high A tier. Very fun game. Aragon, F. Very buggy mess. My cousin and I had a good time. Like, it was a fun game playing it, but we couldn't get past certain points because of how buggy it was. So that's going in F. But decently fun at the time. So 007, Everything or Nothing, it's an A tier. I have a good time with that game. Still have a good time with that game, actually. Excitebike, we're going to say Too Young to Remember. Played it. F-Zero X, that's a solid B tier. Love that game. The soundtrack's awesome, despite being like free notes, like so. Fallout 3, S tier. This little section is going to be controversial because I think that Fallout 4 deserves to be up here. Fallout 76 now, because I recently started playing it again, that's a B. I'm giving New Vegas an A. I'm sticking by my guns. I'll even keep it at a high A. I think 3 is better. 3 was the first Fallout that I've played. I thought the environmental storytelling was just more interesting. I thought the setting was more interesting. I feel like New Vegas gets a lot of hype for the writing, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. And that's not to say that like Fallout 3 is a better written game, because it's not. Like that is genuinely false. I just had a better time with 3. That, and also Liam Neeson's in it, so that's pretty hype. Far Cry 2, it's a B tier game. I thought a lot of the stuff that they introduced in it, especially at the time, was pretty gnarly. Been a long time since I've played it, though. Willing to do a run through if needed. Far Cry 3, high A tier. I just watched my wife play this and run through it, and a lot of it's kind of repetitive now, but for the time it was amazing. So I'm gonna give it an A tier for nostalgia. Far Cry 4 didn't impact me in any other way. Far Cry 5, however, that's a solid B tier game. I really enjoyed Far Cry 5. I thought the setting was cool. I thought it was relevant. Very fun. Farming Simulator, this is kind of the all-encompassing. It's the only logo that I could find. And it's also mostly cut off, so it's technically Erming Emulate. But, yeah, Farming Simulator, C. It's not that it couldn't impact me, it just, just a game. Just a game. Fate, old PC game, that's an A tier. I know I said that I don't like top-down dungeon crawlers. Something about Fate tickles a part of my brain that I still enjoy to this day. So that's going there. Far Cry Blood Dragon, that's an A tier. Very fun DLC, very fun setting. You know, better than Far Cry 3, I think. Alright, FIFAs, I'll put them in C. They didn't impact. It's not like I can remember which one's which and which one's better. Fight Night 2004, though, that's a low A tier game. Still love that game. Fight Night Champion, same thing. I played 2004 a lot more than Champion. They're still on the same tier for me, though. Final Fantasy VII, the original one. This is going to be another spicy take. I couldn't get into it. I'm not a fan of JRPGs. I just think they're okay. That's about it. So, Flight Sim, B tier, fun to poke around in. That's what a lot of these games are too, is, good time sucks. Alright, Force Unleashed, is this the second one? Alright, I couldn't remember it. I cannot for the life of me remember Force Unleashed, I think 2. Ford Racing, forgettable. It's alright. For Honor, C, couldn't get into it. Fortnite, C. Like, I don't know. I played Fortnite, not a lot of it. I think the building is dumb because I'm bad at it. But no gun mode, however, I clap people in no gun mode. What is this? Galaga? Galaxian, I think that one is. We're gonna put it in Too Young to Remember. Gears of War. This is gonna be couldn't get into it. Cousin and I tried to do all of the Gears of Wars, and we didn't think they were all that in a bag of chips. We played it much later than other people, to be fair. We played it after, and everyone said like, "Oh my god, like this is awesome." Same thing. Ghost of Tsushima. This is going to be controversial. I couldn't get into it either. Want to try it again? I like the idea of the setting. I just something about it did not tickle my fancy. Ghost Recon Wildlands. It's an A tier. What is this one? Simulator of some sort. Man, I picked some bad pictures. Godfall. Forgettable. I don't know. I don't remember a thing about it. First God of War. We'll call it a B tier. Kind of mindlessly fun. I like I love the premise of it. God of War 2, same. We're gonna probably put all the OG God of Wars up there, and we'll put God of War 29. That's a low A tier. This is another controversial opinion. Like, I don't think that the PS4 / PS5, Ragnarok and 2018 or whenever that game came out, like, I don't think those games are as phenomenal as like other people say they are. Ragnarok is going to be on the same tier. I think that they're A tier games. They're very well made, very well produced. Just something about them wasn't. No, we're gonna put them in B. Something about these two games was not worth the hype to me, and I played them both on launch. Like, maybe it's because I wasn't the biggest God of War fan to begin with. Maybe that's why. I just did not think that they were. I don't know. Something about them just didn't click, and I beat them, and I enjoyed them, but it wasn't up here worthy for me. So, sue me, I guess. GoldenEye 007. It's a B tier. Controls like crap now, but for the time, very good, very fun. Jaws was my main. We didn't do Odd Job, of course, so Jaws was my guy. GTA 4. That's an A tier, high A tier. I think Nico Bellic is a much better protagonist, and same thing GTA 5. I don't think there's a single GTA 5 or GTA game that is in my S tiers, which is a wild take, I'm sure, but I think that they're great for what they are, but what there are is not. And honestly, like we're gonna rearrange this here too. We're gonna put COD 4. Or we're gonna put Black Ops, because like the more I think about it, like S tier should be reserved for like my all-time games, and these, like, I think Modern Warfare 2, for a lot of the nostalgia for me, takes the cake for it. God, we have so many left. Okay. GT4. B tier. I want to play it again. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. GT7. Same thing. I like racing sims. I don't have a particular order for these. I'm going to try to do GT4 Let's Play at some point, because I haven't really done it before. So, here we go. GT3. I think I might put all the, I'm going to put all the Grand Theft Autos up here, if there's anything besides, like, okay, yeah, San Andreas. Okay. And I am missing Vice City. I have played Vice City before, admittedly. That's also going to be an A tier, so we will go from there. Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock. Playing through Clone Hero occasionally now. I just found a guitar from Goodwill. That's going to be a B tier. Guitar Hero 1, C. It's not as good as Legends of Rock. Aerosmith, forgettable. And this is also going to go into C. Halo Reach, that's an A tier. And I'm not going to elaborate on it. I mean, this video is going to be long as hell anyways, and, frankly, ain't nobody going to sit through a dude's first video and watch it. So, that being said, Harry Potter Quidditch, A tier game. Loved that game. Thought I was really good at it in college, and then I met a guy that absolutely waffle stomped me in it. And yeah, that's an A tier game. I have a great time with that game. Harry Potter or the Phoenix, that is a B tier. Bought it from a Rite Aid way back. And if it, sparks where I bought it, I must have enjoyed it to an extent. The Long Drive, that's a B tier game. Fun indie game. Very good to just mindlessly drive with your custom radio. That's on Steam. Recommend it. Helldivers 2, we're gonna put in a B. Played a ton of it at launch, had a really good time, and then just kind of fizzled out. That's kind of my take on Helldivers 2. Bought it for a bunch of people. We all played it, had a good time, but I don't know. It just kind of, the hype for it died down for me. Helldivers 1, we're going to put in C. Top down. And that's really the only critique. Hell Let Loose. A tier. Love that game. Love the community. I mean, maybe not so much anymore. It's been a while since I played it. I play on PC and console. Mostly console because I got it for free for PS Plus. And at the time, it was a very small community. It's kind of gotten a little bigger, but sometimes I hop on and there's still guys there. So, Hitman 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to put them all in the same kind of line here. Except maybe, I think Hitman 2 I think I enjoyed more. It's been a while since I've played these. Hitman Contracts, we're going to give a C. And Hitman 3. It's been a long time since I've played any of those Hitman games. I enjoyed them. I had a great time with them, but again, like not to like this tier for me. Hitman Absolution though, we're gonna give a low A. I do remember playing a lot of Hitman Absolution, even if it was a little more linear than I think a lot of people wanted. I had a really good time with Absolution. I enjoyed trying to get the platinum for it. I don't think I could because if I remember right, I think they were like online things needed for it. So, Hogwarts Legacy C tier. I think almost exactly like 50-60% through. Have not finished it yet. Love the idea of it, but never did. Homefront F. Forgettable, specifically. I don't remember much of it. I do remember reading a Game Informer and misreading it as a child, thinking there was more customization, but there's no customization. So, Horizon Zero Dawn, couldn't get into it. Don't know what it is. Some of the PlayStation exclusives I just had a hard time getting into, and I never actually finished Horizon Zero Dawn because of it. This Hot Wheels game, Burnin' Rubber. I remember playing it, watched gameplay footage, too young to remember. Hot Wheels Unleashed though, B tier. Had a good time with that game. Pow World, that's what this one is. C. It was fun. Played it for a few weeks when everyone else was. It was alright. Infamous 1. That's gonna go A tier. Actually, 1, 2, and Second Son are all going to go into A tier in no particular order. Very fond of all of those games. And like everyone else, I had Second Son's like a PS4 launch title. Grabbed it. Very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed all three of those games. I think they're awesome, and I would love if they made a comeback. Injustice 2. I'm going to put a B tier. And I'll put Injustice 1 as a C. Loved Injustice 2. Typical fighting game that doesn't move the needle for me in any way. Insurgency Sandstorm. We're going to give a C. Didn't play a lot of it. It Takes Two. Give an A. Very fun co-op. If you haven't played it yet, highly recommend it. Jak 3. Too young to remember. It's been a long... I'm going to call it that because I don't remember a lot of Jak 3. Or Jak 2, for that matter. Jak and Daxter, however, that's going to go into a B tier. Solid 3D platformer. One of the first games I played on PS2. One of the first games I beat on PS2. Very much enjoyed that game. Jaws Unleashed. F. Very glitchy. Very goofy. Had a good time with it when I could. Jerry McGrath, 2000 and N64 gamer, going to D tier. Not much to write home about. Journey, we'll give it B tier. Oh, unknown. Just Cause 3, I'm gonna put both those in there. It's, some, like I said, some of these things might be a little controversial if this video ever goes anywhere past 3 people watching it. But yeah, I couldn't get into these. Katamari, though, A tier game. It's a party game that I show everyone. Love Katamari. Massive fan of Katamari. Still working on that platinum for it. Kerbal, KSP. That's going to be another A tier game. I don't know what I'm doing in Kerbal. I'm not an astrophysicist. I'm not a very intelligent person. Kerbal is still a very fun game, even just to shoot Kerbals into the atmosphere. Kingdom Come Deliverance, couldn't get into. Played a lot of it. But, meh, it's alright. Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know, just remember what that one was. That's a B tier. Yeah, B tier. I don't think it's necessarily an A tier for me. I love the idea of Kingdom Hearts. There's just so much of it. And this is Joust. Joust, I'm too young to remember. Could never figure out how to play it even to this day. This is Kingdom Hearts 1. We'll put that in the same scope. I enjoyed both of them. I don't know. Like, I might have to retool some of this tiering the more I think about it, but we'll figure it out. Knack. C. Didn't move the knee. D. I couldn't get into Knack. And it's not like I played it and couldn't get into it. I just did not like Knack. L.A. Noire. B tier. Solid. I don't think I ever finished it. Played a lot of it, got burnt out, I think was the situation. But I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. Left 4 Dead 1 we're going to put in C tier, but Left 4 Dead 2 we're going to put in A tier. Modded Left 4 Dead is some of the most fun I've had with friends ever. And if you haven't, I highly recommend doing it. But if you haven't at this point, like, you probably never will. First Legend of Zelda, B tier. Solid. I mean, I prefer, like, Ocarina of Time, of course, but, B tier. Legends of Wrestling, that's a D tier game. Fun, but not amazing. Lego Batman 3, same thing. Lego Batman 1, we're going to put it in a C. Harry Potter, a lot of these Lego games I think are going to C, except for Indiana Jones, which is going up to A tier. Love Lego Indiana Jones. Might try to speedrun it at some point if given the opportunity. That's how much I enjoy that game. Lego Harry Potter. C. Complete Saga. I couldn't get. That's gonna go here. Complete Saga is gonna go here. Skywalker Saga I'm gonna put in C. I didn't think it was better than. And I didn't think Skywalker was necessarily better than the Complete Saga. Lethal Company. That's a C tier game. Fun, great time while it lasts. Good time with friends. Little Big Planet 2. That's gonna be a solid B tier. LBP3. That's a C tier. I thought LBP2 was much better. Little Big Planet 1. We're gonna put in C as well. I thought Little Big Planet 2 was the peak. Lost Planet 2 we're gonna put in a low B tier. Great time with that. Remember the Sandworm. A lot of memorable fights with that, and it's actually the first like PS3 that I bricked with the Yellow Light of Death actually had. I was playing Lost Planet 2. So for that goes B tier for the memories. War in the North. Massive Lord of the Rings fan, A tier. I actually enjoy. Maybe that's too high. We'll go B tier. I actually really enjoyed War in the North. I thought it was a very fun, you know, active experience, and also glitching out with your characters and giving different armor and everything was sick. So B tier. Madagascar, D tier. Don't remember anything out about it. Madden 2003, B tier. Love that game. It's the first Madden I played. Madden 09 was the first game that I actually knew what I was doing with Madden. Also a B tier. Mad Max, couldn't get into it. Mafia 2, couldn't get into it. Mafia 3, F tier. D. We'll say D. Yeah, we'll keep those there. I tried to get into Mafia 2, just didn't love it for whatever reason. And Mafia 3 I played and beat, and kind of the same thing. Couldn't get into it, but I feel like putting the whole franchise in there besides the first one is kind of meh. So, Maneater, B tier. Pretty fun game. Had a solid time with that one. Mario and Sonic the Olympic Games, C tier. Nothing much more to say about that. Mario Kart 64 though, A tier. Mario Party 7, A tier. What else we got? Mario Baseball, that's going high A tier. Love this game. Still love this game. Wife and friends play it all the time. Solid game. Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge, D tier. Used to love it as a kid, and upon replaying it, it's kind of mid. Alright, Ultimate Alliance, B tier. Nothing much to write home about. I much preferred Ultimate Alliance 1, which, spoiler alert, is going to be an S tier game. Mass Effect series, we are going to go B. I did replay these a couple of years ago. That's going to go B, and then this is going to go A. Replayed the whole thing not that long ago, and then that's going to go C. Replayed the whole thing. I love the Mass Effect games, but I don't think that they are all time. Like, you need to take them as a whole and say, like, okay, this is 1, 2, and 3 as a collective game. Like, if I were to rank them individually, I'd probably put them exactly where I put them, like that. Matt Hoffman Pro BMX, C tier. Men in Black, F. Don't remember a thing about this besides it was stupidly hard as a child, mind you. This one's going to go B. Mercenaries 2 is going to go into a C. Didn't really impact me any other way. Metal Gear 1, we're going to put in a B. It's okay. Phantom Pain, I'm replaying again. Got to the midpoint of the campaign and decided that it, like, how do I want to word this? The midpoint of the campaign, when you beat Skullface or whatever the fuck, or the Shalashaska or whatever it's called, my PS4 hard drive died and I didn't have cloud saves, so I lost everything. Slowly replaying it. It's a C tier though. I don't think that it's phenomenal. Like, I don't even know if it breaches a B tier for me. 2033, C tier. I thought Last Light was better, but it's still going to go into C tier. But it'll go high C tier. I thought the Metro games were really cool. I read the books because of the games, but I felt that for whatever reason, it just doesn't crack a solid game for me though. Snake Eater, S tier. Not even a question. I think Snake Eater is the best game in the franchise of Metal Gear, and I think it is a phenomenal game, and I will be certainly picking up the remake if and when that comes out. MGS4, A tier. I'm gonna be honest, I really enjoyed, even upon a replay on the PS3 recently, very much enjoyed that game. Midnight Club LA, that's an A. That's a B tier. Controls were a little weird. Love the cars. Love Midnight Club. Love if it came back. This is D tier. This is A tier. Dub Edition, phenomenal game, and this is D tier. Those first two Midnight Club games are fucking rough for a multitude of reasons, but Midnight Club 3, phenomenal game. Minecraft, S tier. One of my favorite games of all time, even if it's just to hang out and relax to. Perfect time suck game for me. So one of my favorites, one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. Mission Impossible, Too Young to Remember. Mortal Kombat Armageddon, that's a B tier, solid fighting game. Deadly Alliance, I'm gonna put it in F, but forgettable. I thought Armageddon was cooler in that PS2 Mortal Kombat era. MLB 21, solid C tier game. Morrowind, I have not actually really played it yet. I'm gonna put it from what I've played so far. I'm gonna put it in couldn't get into it, and we're gonna tweak this so it didn't play enough. I will though. Mortal Kombat vs. DC, that's an F tier, forgettable. Motor Storm, B tier. Very much enjoyed that game. Mountain Blade Warband, B tier. But Bannerlord's going A tier. Spoiler alert. Very much enjoyed Bannerlord. Still enjoy Bannerlord, not very good at it. If you've checked me out on Twitch, Swedish Chef, I think it's 1234. I don't really stream all that often. But played a little bit of Bannerlord, got my ass kicked, turned it off because I didn't want to embarrass myself further. Multiverses, this is a B tier game. I actually really enjoy Multiverses. Very big fan of it. I hope it gets a community behind it because I enjoy it. Didn't play enough of it. No, I played it. Couldn't get into it. Dirt to Daytona, forgettable. Forgettable because NASCAR 07 though, we'll give it a C. Didn't impact me. Had a good time with it. 2000, we'll put it in D tier. Alright, 2K15. I am a big 2K fan. That's just the nature of it. I'm a basketball fan, and with that comes 2K if you play video games. 2K15 was the first one I really played. I think I stuck it in B, C tier. Wherever I stuck it up, it deserves to go there. 2K19, B tier. No, we're going A tier. We're gonna put. Okay, here's how we'll do this. We'll say 19 and 20, A tier. 20 was the pandemic, of course. Very much enjoyed 20. 19 was the first game that I really played online. Had a good time with it. We're gonna go like this. And that's not to say, like, gameplay-wise, they're the same thing. They're the same core gameplay. I have a lot of very fond memories because of the pandemic in 2K20 and where I was at in my life with that. So, a lot of nostalgia is carrying this one, but I'm okay with it. 21, D tier. I did not like 21. Nor did I like 20. No. Fuck, these all blend together. It shows it doesn't really change anything. I'm gonna put that in C tier. 23, C tier. However, 24 is probably my favorite 2K. And I'm not afraid to say it. It's my opinion. It's an A tier 2K game. And that's what I mean. Like, some of the, like, my criteria for the rankings of these are weird. And I don't really have a solid one. So, yeah. 2K3, didn't play enough of it. Street, that's a C tier. Standard, didn't impact me anyway. The only thing I remember about this game is you could smash the backboard. We're going to put it in D tier. Need for Speed Carbon, that's a B tier game. Most Wanted, that's a high B tier. Payback. Couldn't get... Forgettable. Need for Speed the Run, I actually fucking hated. I felt lied to. I thought you could get out of the car and run around. I was not a very bright child. Yeah. The Run, bad game. C tier for Undercover. B tier for Underground 2. NFL 2K3, forgettable. It's just fucking mad, just a fucking football game. Pro Street though, A tier. Love this game. Love Need for Speed Pro Street. I think it's my favorite Need for Speed game ever. I like the tracks. I think the tracks are cool. I think the storyline's cool. I think the cars are cool. I think the designs for all the cars, like their logos and stuff, are sick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying and sticking to it. Underground. Oh, that was an Underground 1. Underground 2 is gonna go 8 here. Like, I don't remember enough of either one of these to be like, oh, that's. But I do know Underground 2 was very good for the time. NHL, forgettable. Attack of the Toy Bots, D tier. BioShock Infinite didn't impact me in any other way. I don't know if that's controversial or not. We'll see. But yeah, old school RuneScape, B tier. Didn't have a lot of internet growing up as a kid, and playing it now it's kind of a fun time suck. But I don't like farming games like that a ton. Open Season, forgettable. I know I've played it, but I don't remember much about it. Outlast, we're gonna give it a C tier. Overcooked, that's a B tier game. Just had some friends over, very, very much enjoyed that. Did that come down? I must have. Yeah, Overcooked, very fun game. Highly recommend it. Over the Hedge, I'm gonna put in high B tier. Now, Over the Hedge is on the PS2 is when I played it. A lot of memories for that one. Like a lot of it's nostalgia, dictating how much I enjoyed these games. I'm sure if I went back to Over the Hedge, it would be awful. But I remember being a kid going over to a friend's house and us playing that, and I wanted it so bad, and begged my parents, and they finally gave it to me for Christmas. So that's where that goes. Pac-Man doesn't impact me in any other way. It's Pac-Man. Payday, D tier. It's Payday 2 even. Yeah, it's alright. Cool concept, but PC Simulator, time suck. Peggle 2, B tier. Enjoy Peggle from time to time. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. This is an A tier game for me. I know Platinum is better. I've played Platinum. Platinum is an A tier as well. Diamond was the first Pokemon game that I ever bought with my own money that I actually played through. And it was the first Pokemon that I actually had the ability to play because I didn't have Pokemon games growing up. So it was the first one that I bought and owned. Emerald, that being said, is probably my favorite Pokemon game. That's an S tier. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, that'll be another A tier. Leaf Green, Platinum is going to be an S tier. Yeah, we'll do that, because these two are my favorite ones. I love Gen 4 as a whole. Leaf Green will go A tier. Ruby and Sapphire will go B tier. Okay. Pokemon Stadium, we'll put it in C tier. Mini games are fun. Alright, this is where it might get a little dicey. I don't think White 2... Pokemon Snap. Well, we're going to take a quick little side note here. Pokemon Crystal will be an A tier. I enjoyed Crystal. I enjoyed Gen 2. And then Gen 1 Pokemon Blue. It's going to be B tier. But yeah. White 2, Black 2, any of those Pokemon, like after Gen 4, I've kind of fallen off in terms of Pokemon and my enjoyment of them. I've played all of them, but yeah. Portal 1 is going to be an A tier. Portal 2, I think, is going to go like high A tier. It's been a long time since I've played them. I enjoyed them. I don't know if they make my GOAT list, though. Predator, Hunting Grounds, forgettable. I don't know what that one is. Prototype 2, couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into Prototype. Thought it was a ripoff. Infamous, you know. That's a pretty, I think, standard complaint about it, but meh. PUBG, D tier. It was really fun when it started, played the beta, and I have not played it since. So, Punch-Out, C tier. It's fun to play once in a while. Quantum of Solace, Too Young to Remember. I'm also saying, like, Too Young to Remember, even though, like, I think it was, like, 13, 14, but we're going to put it in forgettable, actually. Because I remember playing it. I had the DS version, so that might be why it's forgettable. Red Dead 2, S tier. One of my favorite games of all time. Undead Nightmare and Red Dead 1 we're going to both give high A tiers. I thought Red Dead 2 was better in every way. And that's not to like dunk on the legacy of 1. I just think that 2 is a close to perfect game. And I will die on that hill. And it is a fucking travesty that they have not done anything with the online portion of that at all, because I dumped a ton of time into that too. Okay, that's Prince of Persia. Too Young to Remember. That's what that is. Resi 2. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Didn't impact me in any other way. Resi 3, same thing. Resi 6 is forgettable. I don't remember really any of that. We're gonna put all the Resistances in C tier. They were pretty fun, pretty solid games, but played them with my dad. That's why they're on this list and why I remember them. But Saints Row 4, D tier. Saints Row the Third, C tier. They didn't move the needle for me. I don't know. I think they're fun and goofy for a time, but it's not like they are game changing, you know. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. We'll put it in C tier. I had a good time with it. It's been a long time since I've played it. Double Agent, Splinter Cell, same thing. Too Young to Remember Cyber Chase. Forgettable Mario Tennis game. I know I have it, but Sekiro. I'm actually gonna start Sekiro again. We're gonna put it in B tier. I'm gonna start Sekiro again and give it another shot, because at the time I didn't like it, but I like the idea of it, so we'll see. Shadow of Mordor, A tier game. First game I ever pre-ordered. First game I went to a midnight release for. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan. Love the Nemesis system. Played it on PS3 to start. Still enjoyed it. That's how much I enjoyed that game. And if you know anything about that whole situation, like, PS3 version of the game is rough. Shadow of the Colossus. We'll give it a B tier. I debated on putting it in C, just the idea of it didn't impact me in the way that it impacted others. I understand that, like, from a historical standpoint and, you know, what it means to make a video game, like, I understand the impact of it. Just wasn't for me necessarily. Shaun White Snowboarding, we'll give it a D tier. Don't remember much about it, but it's not F. Like, it's not forgettable. It was just a game. Shrek 2 on the PC, I do remember that. I only remember the boss fight, but we're gonna give it a C. Sifu, I'm gonna give it a B. I enjoyed Sifu. I thought it was a really cool concept, but it wasn't, you know, needle moving. Sims 3, though, we're gonna give an A tier. I love the Sims 3 and 4. Skate 3, this is gonna be a hot take. I'm putting it in C. Didn't move me in any way. I'm a Tony Hawk guy first and foremost. Always will be. Always have been. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Skate 3, C tier. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, C tier, solid game. All right, Sniper Elite 4 D tier. I don't remember the ins and outs of Sniper Elites, but once you've played one, you've played them all. That's just the bottom line of that. So I'm gonna put the rest of them in C tier. Yeah, we'll do C tier for all those, and we'll put all of them into C tier. They're just good time wasting games. SOCOM 1, B tier. SOCOM 2 though is an A tier. Love those games. Never played them online. Heard the online was awesome to them. Never had the opportunity, but maybe one day we will. Sonic Heroes. We'll put it in D tier. Alright, the theme song, the menu theme song was awesome, and my cousin played a shit ton of that. Sonic 06, F tier. Bought it for my mother for her birthday because she's like, I like Sonic games. And she didn't play it because it was a buggy mess, and I didn't beat it because it was a buggy mess. So F tier. Fractured Butthole, C tier. Stick of Truth will be B tier though. I thought, Stick of Truth was better than Butthole. But yeah, they're not. They're fun games. Spider-Man 2000. That's the N64 version specifically. Even though this is PlayStation, that's the one I played. We go C tier. Didn't impact me really. Spider-Man 1. We're going the same tier because Spider-Man 2 is an S tier game. I don't think it needs a lot, but for the sake of a little blurb, Spider-Man 2 is still to this day phenomenal. Spider-Man 3, which is actually technically the first one I played, in all honesty, so we'll put that in B tier. It was the first actual Spider-Man game that I bought and owned. I played like 2 like at an uncle's house or something, but Miles Morales, let's see. It was a glorified DLC. Didn't need to be the price that it was when it came out. I like Miles Morales as a character. I love the sucker punch Spider-Man. I just think that it was way overhyped for what it was. So, that being said, Spider-Man 1, S tier. Love that game. Spider-Man 2, I'm going to put in A tier. I really enjoyed I don't know. Is it one of my all-times, though? No. I don't think it's one of my all-times. And I'm going to have to tweak this. Yeah, we'll keep it as is so far. Spy Hunter, too young to remember. No, I played it. SSX Tricky, that's a C tier. Fun game, Star Wars Starfighter, forgettable. Galaxy of Heroes, it's a shitty mobile game, like D tier. Like Star Wars Battlefront, the 2015, whenever this came out, didn't impact me any other way. Had some good memories with it. Battlefront 2, though, the OG, that is an S tier game. Battlefront 1, C tier. Episode 3, put it in D tier. State of Emergency 2, that's a D tier game. Steep, I actually really enjoy Steep. That's going to go low A tier. I very much enjoyed Steep. I still enjoy just snowboarding and skiing around Steep. I think the atmosphere is very beautiful. I think that, you could dig into it and be like, oh, it's about mountains and the beauty of mountaineering and all of that kind of zen stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy Steep a lot. Stuntman, B tier. Love that game. Hard as fuck. Really fun game though. Subway Surfers, F. It's a fucking mobile game. Mario 64 though, that's an A tier. One of the first games I've ever beaten, actually. Great game. Love that game. Super Mario 2. Um, I guess I couldn't get into it. Like, this can go into 8 here. I feel like all the retro Mario games like I've played, like it's not like, oh my god, this is groundbreaking. It's fucking 2D Mario. Like there's not much to write home about. I just beat this for the first time a little while ago. B tier. I respect what it popped off for the history of video games. But yeah, I just beat that for the first time. I never had beaten it before, so I took the time and did it. So that was a fun little challenge. Smash Bros. 1. Too young to remember. I know I've played it. Surf's Up. D tier. I enjoyed the game a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It's not like enough to like, oh my god, let's do a let's play, but I enjoyed it. GT Superbikes, forgettable. Just a racing bike game. Battlefront 2, we're gonna call it a C. We'll put it in B actually. I enjoyed Battlefront 2. That's the EA version. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. We'll call it C tier. Didn't impact me in any other way. Tannenberg. Oh, goodness. Oh. Well, I think it ended up in C tier. We'll keep it in C tier, but I was going to put it down and couldn't get into it. I don't know what that is. Ninja Turtles 2. C tier. Didn't impact me. Tough as fuck. Cool, so there's 3 of them. Terraria, we'll call it B tier. I'm not a big fan of games like Terraria, like the 2D side-scrolling ish. I think Minecraft's better, but I don't mind it. We're almost done. I'm starting to lose steam. Okay, Tekken 4. D tier. Test Drive Off-Road Fury. D tier. Tetris. B tier. Fun time suck. In hindsight, I should have made another list. The Backyardigans VTech game. We're gonna put it in F. I know I've played it. I remember gameplay of it. My little sister had a VTech and we used that. So Banner Saga, couldn't get into it. Oops. Is that Tecmo Bowl? That's Tecmo Bowl, but we're gonna put it in C tier. Banner Saga, couldn't get into it. Division 2, could not get into it. Division 1, couldn't get into it. Skyrim, I'm sorry. I gotta be that guy and put it in some of my favorites. Love Skyrim. It's like the Marvel movie of video games. You know what you're going into, you know what you're getting. And I enjoy it for that. Oblivion, didn't play enough. We're gonna say that for Morrowind and Oblivion. I just bought them, never really played them yet. Escapists, we're gonna call that a C tier. Decent game, cool concept, but not necessarily for me. Force Unleashed, we'll call that a B tier. I do remember that one. I remember that one a lot more than I do the second one. That was a great game. And a lot of fun. Getaway, F, forgettable. Don't know anything about it. Majora's Mask, I'm going to put in B tier. I don't like games with a time limit that means you have to rush and try to get through it. I love the lore behind Majora's Mask, and I love all the creepypasta shit around it. I think Majora's Mask is a solid B tier for me. But Ocarina of Time, however, is an S tier. My favorite Zelda game. Bar none. I love Ocarina of Time. I think it is a brilliant video game even today. Yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Wind Waker. B tier. Probably do a let's play of that soon, because I don't know what I'm doing in it. And it's been too long since I've tried it, so. Outer Worlds, D tier. I didn't like Outer Worlds. Nothing about it. Well, you know what? We'll be honest, I couldn't get into it. Rather than like saying like it sucked, like it didn't suck. It did not move a needle for me at all. Simpsons Hit and Run, that's a C tier. It's fun. Didn't impact me in a certain way or anything. Road to Respect, though, if you guys haven't played this, you should try it out. It's stupid, it's fun, it's a B tier. The Sims 2, I'll put it in C tier. Sims 3 is better. The Surge, couldn't get into it. Okay, so now we're in the Walking Deads, and I just played these in general. I just beat them. So this is the New Frontier. That's okay. We're gonna start here. Episode 1, S tier. One of my favorite pieces of media ever. Season 2, we're gonna put in B. Trying to remember what happened. B tier. New Frontier is C. Didn't impact me. And then A, I think, to finish it off. It's not like in any particular order A. It finished Clementine's story, and that's what mattered. We move on. Alright, this is The Police. I'm going to give it a C tier. I actually have not beaten it yet. This War of Mine, couldn't get into it. More specifically, I haven't played enough. I've heard great things about it, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, that's a B tier for me. I think Underground is a GOAT. We'll get to that in a second. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, forgettable. I did not like Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I didn't think it was worth the price that I paid for it, which was full price. And honestly, in hindsight, I shouldn't have, because I wasn't big enough into the Borderlands as a whole to do that. Titanfall 2. We'll call it a B. This might be another controversial one. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as hyped up as everyone thought it was. It's just simple as that. Tomb Raider Underworld, forgettable. Tomb Raider, that's a... Honestly, it's kind of an F. And the idea of it's forgettable. I didn't love the new Tomb Raider reboots. Last of Us Part 2. That's a B tier. I should have Last of Us Part 1 up there. If I don't, then something's wrong with me, because... yeah, I'm not seeing it. Last of Us Part 1 is an S. Oh, no, it's right there. Never mind. Yeah. Future Soldier. C tier, and didn't move the needle. I just bought it again for like $2 on Steam. I'm going to go through it again. New Vegas 2, that's a B tier. That's a lot of fun. And New Vegas, those are both B tiers. I had a good time running through those. Ghost Recon 2, we'll call it a C. Didn't move the needle for me. Siege, S tier, one of my favorites. Not so much anymore, but in college and senior of high school, I played a ton of Siege. A lot of really, really good memories in Siege. I don't think it's one of my... I'm gonna put it in A tier, high A tier, like top of A tier. Yeah, really enjoyed Siege. All right, Tony Hawk's Proving Ground. That's a D tier. 1 and 2, A tier, for sure. American Wasteland, B tier. Project 8, C. Actually, no, D. I didn't like Project 8. Something about Project 8 just didn't sit right with me. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, we're going to put in C because the remake did better. That might be a spicy take, but whatever. B tier for Pro Skater 3. C tier for Pro Skater 1. I played it well after the fact, and it's alright. The remake did it better. Underground 2, not a massive fan of. I don't think that the Jackass style for me lands very well. I think it's kind of goofy and, kind of lame at some points. But yeah, I'm sticking it in B tier. However, this is arguably top of S. I love Tony Hawk's Underground. I have a very, very deep bond with this game. Played it and beat it probably 30, 40 times. I love that game. I would give anything to get it remade. I would be if I could take all of these games on this list and not have them for a remake that does Underground 1 justice, I might do it. That's how much I love that game. Toy Soldiers, C. Transformers the game, that's D. It's fun, cool while it lasted. I thought the graphics in it were really cool for the time. True Crime, Streets of LA, we'll call it a B tier. I have a good time with that game still, not gonna lie. Sims 2 Pets, this is the PS2 version. Solid game, had a good time with it, some good memories, we'll call it B tier. Turok 2. Turok, Seeds of Evil. Couldn't remember it, couldn't get into it. This is going to be a C tier, Twisted Metal Black. This is going to be a C tier, Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. Tie, forgettable, I don't know. UFC 2009 Undisputed, I thought about this game the other day. That's probably a B tier. Honestly, I enjoyed that game a lot, played it a lot, had a good time. UFC 4, C tier. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance is an S tier game, one of my favorites. Ultimate Chicken Horse, that's a good party game, we'll call it C tier. Alright, the Uncharted ones. So let's start with Uncharted 1. I'm going to call it a B tier. Kicks off the Nathan Drake and his whole shebang. Clunky as fuck. Awful to control nowadays. My wife plays it every year. She plays the whole quadrology, whatever a 4-piece is. She plays all of them. So I've gotten my fill of Uncharted 1. Uncharted 2, we're calling it an A tier. Very much enjoyed that. Uncharted 3 was the first Uncharted that I played, so because of that is also going in A tier. I don't know if that's exactly where it goes, but I'd put it in A tier. I had a good time with it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Uncharted 4, we're going to put in solid B tier. I think the way they ended Nathan Drake's story was great. I just feel like the tail end of it's a little long. Lost Legacy, honestly forgettable. I don't remember much about it. The only reason I played it was so I could get Jak and Daxter on the PS4. Valiant Hearts, A tier. Very fun World War I puzzle-based game if you haven't played it. Until Dawn, forgettable. No, I can't say that. D tier. It's a lot of good memories. It's part of how I met my wife, and yeah, Until Dawn. GTA Vice City, we're gonna put that in B tier. I didn't play as much of it as I would have like San Andreas, but I love the setting of it. I think 80s Miami is pretty bitchin'. Last of Us 1, S tier. One of my favorites. One of the greatest pieces of zombie media I think is out there. Virtua Fighter 5, forgettable. Don't remember much about it except that I had it when we bought the PS3. Virtua Tennis 3, that is a B tier game. I love the arcadey style tennis. I would love if it made a comeback. War Thunder, play this a lot still. Had it since 2018. A lot of balancing problems. I'm stuck. I've had it since 2014. Been playing intermittently since that time, and I'm only in top tier in like 2 nations, which is also awful. So I'm gonna give it a B tier. It's the only game that I've played that I've really enjoyed like it. World of Tanks does not scratch that itch for me like War Thunder does. We're gonna give it a B tier. WF Warzone. forgettable. I don't remember much about it. It's a wrestling game. Like, there's not much to write home about. Watch Dogs 2. I'm gonna say I couldn't get into either Watch Dogs. Rather than give them like a failing grade, we're not gonna any of them except this one. I did play a lot of this one. It's forgettable. World at War. 8 here. My cousin and I tried to beat that on Veteran. Very, very difficult. Rough fucking time, but I think we ended up doing it. It's been a very long time since I've played it, but we're here. Witcher 3, S tier. One of my favorite. Ooh, goodness. Whoa, everybody relax. Okay. I screwed something up here. Yoink. Where's Witcher? Oh god, where did Witcher end up? Alright, well, no matter where it ends up on this list, Witcher is an S tier. That's just, that's the way it's going to go for Witcher. S tier game. Phenomenal game. I don't know where it ended up, though. Wolfenstein 2. Couldn't get into it. Old Blood and New Order. Couldn't get into them. I own all of them. But WWE 2K23. B tier. Solid fun. Have a good time with it. Worms 3D. Too young to remember. I know I played it. I think I really enjoyed it, but not enough to understand it. C tier, didn't impact me any other way. X-Men Legends, that's a C tier. XCOM 2, fucking XCOM 2, that's a B tier. XCOM Enemy Unknown, C, I thought XCOM 2 was better, but again, it gave you XCOM 2 gave you a time limit with the Avatar project, and also 90% miss, so shit like that. 13, the original on the PS2 was another Rite Aid purchased game. That's a B tier. I enjoyed that. Never beat it though. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I have not finished this yet, but I'm working on it. That is an A tier game. Very, very fun. Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Sacred Cards. That's a B tier game. I enjoyed that game a lot. Yoshi's Story is also a B tier game. Both of those are pretty solid, in my humble opinion. War of the Roses. We're gonna call it a C tier. Didn't impact me any other way. Might try it again. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Couldn't get into it. Like, I don't know. It's alright. Civ 5, though. That's an S tier. My favorite Civilization. Oh, goodness. Did I just blip it out of existence again? I did. Civilization 5 is one of my favorite games, though. Like, not gonna lie. Love Civ 5. This one, though, to me, D tier Civ 6. I don't like Civ 6 at all. Shadow of War. This is also going in A tier. And Rise to Honor, which is, I just remembered I added that earlier. Rise to Honor is going to be F, I think. We're going to put it in D, because I remember some parts of it, because it's not totally forgettable. But, yep. That is about it. I don't remember which ones are these, but yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and see ya.